One of the most common spiritual attacks happens at night when we are sleeping. As a believer, one of Satan's main tactics with God's people is number one, fear. If you have spiritual attacks in your dreams, you're seeing figures, sleep paralysis, wet dreams. There's different forms of how Satan uses the nighttime, uses the time that we should be resting to bring a full-on spiritual attack. Resting is really a sacred moment because you are actually entering into a spiritual realm. When you go to sleep, scientifically or whatever you want to call it, there's different realms of sleep. But what people don't realize, because I always thought, like, where do we go when we sleep? Because where's my brain? Where's my thoughts? Where are we when we are sleeping? That has always been my thought. But what God has shown me is that there are different realms of this world and a lot of things that man should not even have access to knowing, okay? But there are different realms, just like it is different realms outside of this world and tangible world. There's different sleep realms, and that's scientifically based, okay? So when we are falling into sleep, we are going into different realms. But what people don't realize, that's a whole nother realm of the spirit. What's crazy is whatever we're feeding in our spirit, whatever our eye gates are seeing, whatever we have fed in our spirits can possibly manifest when we are in that sleep realm. And that's why so many people have attacks with fear during the night, or can't sleep during the night, or having massive thoughts. You're thinking, you're overthinking. These things are happening because of what your spirit, whatever you did that day, whatever your spirit was actively doing, now you're going into this other spiritual realm. So now it's becoming manifested. Psalms 91 tells us this: he who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely he will save you from the fowler's snare and the deadly pestilence. Then it goes into say, he will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you rise by day. Another scripture that shows us that in the night we are facing spiritual demonic attacks. Proverbs 3:24, when you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet. Have no fear of sudden disaster. It goes on to say, have no fear of sudden disaster or of the ruin that overtakes the wicked. For the Lord will be your confidence, and he will keep your foot from being snared. So we see here that there is the kingdom of darkness in the night terror, night hour is very active. We've talked about that realm, that time that God typically calls a specific people to prayer when you're waking up at 3 a.m., that is a call to prayer. That is an hour in the spirit realm that the spiritual activity is very active, is very high. Most people don't realize you're most focused in the night hour. Your spirit is more settled. There's not a lot of things going on in the physical world, in the physical realm, so that other realm begins to pick up and be very active. So what we see here is a manifestation when we are attacked as believers in our sleep. Number one, check yourself. What have I came into agreement with? What have I been reading? What have I been watching? What have been entertaining my spirit that is now manifesting in the physical realm? Most times to protect your spirit, and I want to go back to this because you hear a lot of wicked activity where witches and warlocks take that night terror hour. They take that hour to try to infiltrate people's homes. I forgot what they call it, astral project into your homes and things of that nature. But I implore you, before you lay down, make sure you are praying, but not just praying before you go to sleep. You should be praying throughout the the day, there should be a prayer in your spirit. There should be a prayer continuously in your heart, or God, I just thank you. Something throughout the day that sanctifies your home, that sanctifies your spirit. So when you lay down, the enemy cannot infiltrate what is going on. He cannot come into your home. He cannot come into your space because you've read your scripture, you've worshiped, you told God thank you, you've said a prayer, you've prayed over your home, you prayed over your family. Please understand, the attacks of the enemy does not stop. He picks and chooses when, where, what, and why. And a lot of times, just like Job, God will okay it. He will give the okay because he understands and he knows that it only will strengthen us, because in weakness we are made strong. Please know that we don't have to be afraid, that we serve the ultimate power of this world in every single realm that there is. We serve the eternal God, and have peace in knowing that when those attacks come at night, begin to pray, fall on your knees, play worship music, shift the atmosphere, because God is giving you the authority to trample over the enemy. Every serpent, every demon, he has no control. Lean on Jesus. When you begin to feel those activities moving about in your home at night, or you are being attacked, wake up, shake yourself, and make sure you fall on your knees and just pray and invoke the presence of God in your home.